Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 23 of the Ashton Gate 8 with me, Ringo FM. You can see it's not gone very well recently. There's... don't know how to describe it. I think what we need to do is similar to what we did at the start of the season and just have a little deep dive into what's going on, because you can see we were like 6, 8 and just dropping. If we look at the schedule, the last time we left off was the 3-0 to West Ham. We then drew 1-1 with Chelsea, beat Arsenal 3-0. I thought, do you know what? This is going to be a bit of a breeze. Got stuffed by Liverpool, drew with Middlesbrough, stuffed by Brighton, beat Leicester in the Cup, and then it's just been so poor. The amount of times I've done like team meetings, trying to go about it that way and saying, look, lads, we need to sort it out. Thought we had turned a corner when we drew 1-1 with Man United, but then Tottenham stuffed us 4-1 at the London Stadium. Is West Ham at Tottenham Stadium. I'm just going to show you the goal that Belic scored. Belic is a new sign, and we will talk about a couple of ingoings and outgoings, but you need to see this goal first. So we were attacking, and we changed back up to the 4-2-4 here. Eriksen was playing as like an attacker mid, but look at that for a finish from Belic. I genuinely thought we had turned a corner in that match. If we have a little look, can we see the match facts for that? Actually, it looked as though we were doing okay, and then United just turned on towards the end of the game. Højlund ended up scoring the equaliser, and I don't know what the problem is. We've tried to change it back up to the 4-2-4. We've tried to go back to the 4-2-3-1. I don't know what the problem actually is and why it doesn't seem to be working. I genuinely don't know. I don't know whether to change this up to like a defensive role and then these stay on support, or maybe just going down to fullbacks. The strikers aren't really scoring. Mason Greenwood is the only sort of centre forward getting amongst the goals. Tom Cannon is not really doing it. Francelinho Dew's doing okay. His last 5 games, he's got 2 goals, 1 against Tottenham and 1 against Sheffield United, but did play. Came on the 57th minute in both of these games and didn't score. But it's really, really hard to sort of put my finger on. I don't really know what the issue is, because the team, I mean, Fallou Diouf has just, since coming back from the AFCON, he's not really performed, Fallou Diouf, so I might have to drop him. When Gomo's actually done okay. When he's come in, he's got an assist as well. I think just his physical attributes just make him so good for this division. So do you know what? I'm going to do exactly what I did the last time we had a little look and change things up, and I'm going to do it based on position and whether they should be playing. But we were actually look at the transfers. That is the first thing I need to do, because we did January without you. So you'll see we have still turned a profit. We are 18 million in the black. Players leaving the club then. Obviously, Ronald went, £35 million, went over to Al Hilal. I was a bit gutted we lost him, to be honest. Jayden Camerson's gone out on loan. Edward Kozak's gone out on loan. Ad Aslan went for 190k to Hull. He has got a percentage fee on there. Justin Pierre went out on loan to Grimsby and has hit the ground running. He obviously scored for us in the cup game against Leicester, which is what you guys will have seen. But I just thought, let's get him some men's football, get him some proper game time, and it seems to be working. Gabaman left, 1.9 million to Luton. Was very injury prone, kept losing fitness, kept getting injured. Tommy Conway has now finally gone out on loan. I think that's the best thing for him. Nobody wanted him. Nobody will come in. Do you know what? I'm actually going to do this as unspecified and no status set. Nobody will come in for him. It was really frustrating. So we made the decision just to loan him out, just to get him out, give him some game time rather than stagnating on the bench. Lewis Warrington went on loan to Port Vale, and Reece Claremont also went on loan to Tranmere. So the Tranmere have got all 3 of our youth fullbacks. Darren Ferguson's the manager there now. He's been rotating them between like Rosiak, Camerson and Claremont. Haven't actually played the game for him yet though. So we need to keep an eye on that. In terms of transfers in, Alvin Sancho's the last one you saw. We then also brought in Nicola Kavlina to essentially Timo Horner's done. I'll show you in a second, but Timo Horn has done. This guy come in, Nikola Kavlina. I thought, you know what, he looks very, very good, got a bit of potential. 7.75 million, had done very, very well over in the Croatian divisions. But since coming to us, he came in, he made a massive mistake in his debut against Tottenham and was instantly brought off. I've got no time for that with the goalkeepers. And then another signing was this Christian Bellic guy, 7.5 million, 9 million overall. Brilliant, of course. It looks like he's performing poorly. He's actually not performing poorly. His training rating to 7.3. It's down to what it was. But he's come in, a good player, former West Ham player, actually. I didn't realise he had played for West Ham. He went there for an undisclosed fee and then went out on a free and then ended up down in the Serbian divisions. But has come in and has actually done okay. 6.6, considering we've not been very, very good. I'm happy with that. He's a proper ball winner. He'll literally run around. He'll throw tackles in. He can pass a ball. We've already seen he can shoot. I like him. He's only 24. He's a Belgian. 20 million he's worth now. So again, just to coming in and sort of bolstering the midfield, I'm quite happy with that. But like I said, we need to now decide who's actually going to play in what positions. Tarnavanu, Timo Horn, and obviously Kavlina. Kavlina, I don't think counts because he's not played enough. But in their last 5 games, you'll see Timo Horn has actually got a better overall average rating in the last 5 games, so form-wise, than Tarnavanu has. Which is actually interesting, you know. That's really interesting. He did get a 7.3 against Man United, despite us conceding 6.6, 6.7, 6.7. You can see we have been rotating between the goalkeepers. Let's have a little look at Timo Horn's form. 7.5 against Borough, 6.5, 6.16. I don't think that's right. I think Tarnavanu's the better of the two. So we will do exactly what we keep saying. Tarnavanu, highest average rating of the goalkeeper, 3. I like Tarnavanu. He's going to play. Centre back then, as I say, Falou Diouf is dropping off a little bit. Hayden Roberts, I think, he's still the out-and-out starter, to be honest. I think it's going to be Seko and Roberts for the game against Liverpool. Estrada's doing okay. The only other one is Ekdal, 6.92. I've actually been quietly impressed with Ekdal. He's not played an awful lot. He's played 2 games off the bench for us. He's not played an awful lot of minutes in that time. If we have a little look, can we see his minutes? No, we can just see he's played 2 off the bench, but he's also played some cup games for us. I've been quietly impressed with Ekdal. He's a very, very good player. He likes big matches. He's good at marking. He's very consistent. I think it's between him and Seko. Seko, I'm not really impressed with. He's done well this season, but I'm not massively impressed with him. But I need to start one of the two. I think we go Ekdal, right? Senko's better in the air. Ekdal's better with the ball at his feet and going forward. Yeah, I think we go Ekdal for the next game. So, unfortunately, Falou Diouf, you have been rubbish. So, you're getting dropped to the bench. Hayden Roberts keeps his position. Right back then, Marnan Bush is 6.62, Shackleton 6.7, he can play there, Malo Gusto 6.69, and then Bryce Wembangomo on a 6.94. So, Bryce, you are starting against Liverpool. Franz Kratzig is absolutely he is the first choice left back now. Andrej Borza injured again. Another big injury. It says he's below injury prone. He's not. I'm sorry, there's an eyes test to be done on him. If we look at his medical report, he's just out all the time. Look at this through October, November, and now January. He's missed so much football. He's just constantly injured this season. I don't think he's going to get much better than he is. So Franz Kratzig, £3 million coming in for, as we've already seen. He leads the way for us this season with 5 assists. So I'm happy with that. Centre mids, then obviously we've got a decision to make on them. We've got Bellic, we've got Freuler, we've got Hodzer. They're the 3. Obviously Shackleton as well. Bellic 6.6, Freuler 6.7, and Hodzer 6.74. I think we go back to it being Freuler and Hodzer, and Estrada needs to drop out. Estrada though, 6.67. Yeah, I think we need to go back to Hodzer and Freuler. Romeo Freuler is leaving the club. He has decided to accept a contract offer from Al Fatah. You can't really blame him. But that is literally the reason why we ended up bringing in what's his bloody name? Why we ended up bringing in Bellick. But yeah, we've just got to take it on face value of who's performing and who's not performing. Attacking midfield, Christian Eriksen, 6.84 average rating so far this season. Sin on a 6.6 and Alvin Sanchez on a 6.45. So I think Eriksen continues there. Although Mason Greenwood on a 6.95 obviously can play in this whole midfield role. Hold midfield? On the attacking midfield role. I do still think that's his best position overall. I really do. I don't really think he's a striker. He just doesn't have... He can't use his creativity as a striker unless he played as a false nine, which I don't think he can. So we've got Liverpool next. Do we drop Eriksen? What about the wingers then? So let me just have a look at the wingers. Raekwon Nelson, 6.75 since coming back in. Cozy Dubry, 6.81. Di Pietri, 6.75. Dot on with Nelson. Ismail Diaz, 6.78, now wants to leave the club. He's moaning about his playing time. He was never going to be a starter, and he knew that. He knew that. He was a squad player. He's come in, he's kept kicking off, so he's now going to get dropped. Di Pietri, Cozy Dubry on that side, and Di Pietri on that side, I think we're going to go for. And then between Dew and Tom Cannon, Dew is the better overall player, plays in a different role, links up well with Greenwood, and I think that is what we're going to go for. Shin is still a little bit... I might drop Shin down to the under-21s for a bit, I'm going to drop him down to the under-21s, let him get a little bit more fit, get some game time in him. And then on the bench, then we're going to go Cavallini. No, we're not. Cavallina is going to get dropped out. Horn on the bench. Diouf, Bellick, Tom Cannon, Malo Gusto, Estrada, Sanchez, Seco, and Eriksen. In terms of how we're playing then, so if we have a little look at the XG table, they reckon we should be 14th. Our XG is 3.5. We're underperforming it by 2. 3.5? 35. We're underperforming it by 2. We have missed some big chances. Our XG against is 41. We've conceded 2 less, around 39, and our expected points. We're there or thereabouts where people expected us to be. The early season form obviously helped us out an awful lot, but I just don't know what's working. I've gone back to the mid-block to see if that works. And then I've taken counter-press off. I'm not a massive fan of counter-press. I've changed it to distributing to the centre-backs as well, because I have noticed a lot of the time the teams we're playing will mark the wing-backs, and it will stop us getting the ball out to them. So I think if we start distributing to the centre-backs, set pieces as well, I did let Joseph Amoa do them for a little while, but now I think we need to change it back up again and go to what we know best and what actually works for us. A big game at home against Liverpool. I've always said I feel like at home we can beat anybody. Whether that's truly the case, I'm not entirely sure based on recent performances. Not that it necessarily leads to anything, but since the changes, Bristol under-18s, who aren't the best team, have just drawn 4-4 with Chelsea's under-18s. And I think that's very... I mean, the two centre-backs seem to have a terrible time. Trott and Josh Owen. Mitchell played right back for this game. Everett ended up on the wing again. I think that's very... What's the word I'm looking for? That kind of seems like it's running through the club, not being able to defend properly at the moment. So under 21s game then, there's a couple of players sort of moving about. Shin is going to play, as is Morgan. He's still developing quite well. Ephraim Yeboah, we did recall from loan. We did try and loan him out again, but he wasn't really playing at Oxford. He's had a bit of a bad injury too, so he's on his way back. So that's a good thing to see. He's on his way back. Baird's still performing well, very well in fact. Mully is there or thereabouts. Lynch is now pretty solid as a DM. He was signed, obviously, because I didn't play centre mid, couldn't play DM. We're now training him to play defensive midfield on support, just to see how he is. I still don't really know what he is, to be honest with you. I think he's probably a striker, you know. I think, in all honesty, he's something of a striker. Maybe he's like one of them strikers that just didn't really make it as a striker. But we've got to try and counter this Liverpool team, who obviously it's Liverpool, they will press, so we need to get the ball. Do you know what? I might even just tell us to kick the ball long. I don't know. They're the poorest team for tackles won per game with just 20 per game. That's quite interesting. That's popped up here. That, to me, says that they're not very good if people running at them. I might turn on run at defence for this next game. So Curtis Fleming thinks we should go with this. Pretty much what we have been playing. So he's saying it's the sort of fixtures a good fit to give him an opportunity, good at marking, has improved overall, is very familiar, improved slightly on his crossing. That's quite interesting because his crossing was quite good. Look at this, by the way. I don't know if anyone noticed again. I find these screens that people don't tend to look at. So it shows his pros. He's improved slightly. He's performed well in training. He commands a place in the team. Is very familiar and possesses great pace. He can't header. His relative lack of importance means that he's not needed for this type of fixture, and he's worsened slightly. Someone like Mason Greenwood, then, one of his cons: poor in the air, lack of importance to the team, poor heading ability, has improved well in training, is adept at using either foot, possesses great pace, is very familiar. Yeah, he's been poor. He has been poor. That's mad. That's a mad little screen there. I don't know if you've ever noticed it. Apparently everybody's not important to the team. It can't be everyone. Goodness me. So that's the team that they think they should be playing. Obviously, that's the team we have been playing quite often, as you saw when we were looking at the average ratings and whatnot and sorting out. But I like going by their average ratings and the training performances. I think if they're consistently performing, even when they're just coming off the bench, I think there's something in there. So for this game, this is what they think Liverpool are going to go with: Diaz, Salah, Jota, Endo, Szoboszlai, Nico, Robertson, Kanate, Tadibo, Trent and Alisson. They think, I'm happy with the opposition instructions. They want us to push higher up. We will concede fewer goals from outside the penalty area if we pushed up more. The fact that they can't really tackle, apparently so, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try and push up. We're going to try and play like a higher defensive line. So higher defensive line with a mid-block. I don't mind that. We have got some quick players in there too. But for this next match only, we did mention that they're not very good at tackling. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn on run at defence, and I'm going to turn off play for set pieces. I just want to get at them. I think we just need to get at them. That's probably going to give us the best chance. The team seem quite happy. Bryce is buzzing. He's roused. Very roused. He's a rowdy boy. Is Bryce Wembam Gomo. So I want us to improve on recent results. The pundits might not believe in us, but the fans do. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say go out and play without any pressure. And I like that. I like doing that. That has had more positive effect than most I've noticed with this particular team. I just think they're a bit hit and miss, aren't they? This Bristol lot. And straight away, Mason Greenwood is running through. Bloody hell, Mason took it very literally, didn't he? Yeah, I just think that position works very well for Greenwood. So we are very early stages, but yeah, Mason Greenwood, I think, and I've said it a few times, I genuinely don't think he's a proper striker. I think attacking midfield suits him very well. Kratzig with the corner. That's a lovely ball. Francelinho doesn't win his header. Cozy Dubry brings it down, finds Greenwood, he puts it over the bar. I just think his ability to run with the ball, his flair, his creativity, he's good on either foot. That's what if you could pick like a proper number 10, you'd want somebody who can play. Oh, for fuck's sake. Di Pietri is going to go off injured here. And they're telling me to bring on Alvin Sanchez. as a winger on that side. He's right-footed, isn't he, Alvin? No, he's left only. Okay, we'll go with it. We'll go with what they're saying. Di Pietri getting injured, that's unfortunate because he had just forced his way into the team. I say forced his way in. He displaced Greenwood in the team. Greenwood was obviously starting out on the left and not performing all too well. We're not performing all too well, but 15 minutes gone and we haven't conceded a goal. I'm happy with that. Oh no. Soberslide. You're going to whip one in. Looking for Kanate, and I thought Tarnavanu got a hand to that. He's hit the crossbar. Kanate. Is the dribbling working? I can't say that it is. We're doing okay possession wise. We're just not creating anything from the looks of it. Obviously, you'd expect this Liverpool team to have a lot of the ball against you. It's another Liverpool corner which Kratzig gave away. Robertson's going to do an outswinger, and he's looking for Kanate again with a free header. We need to mark Kanate a bit better than this, lads. I've taken the run at the man instruction off. It doesn't seem to be working. We're not performing well and play for set pieces. Yeah, we don't seem to be performing well enough to do anything like that. Here's Kratzig. Actually, let's just stick with this. Head of the way, poor by Francelino. He's not performed really. Cozy Dubry to Roberts. Here's Hodser. Slips it through to Francelino! And we've been... No, he's on. He's on. Don't give me that shit. Don't give me that shit. Fucking get in. Francelino, Jew. We've been working on his traits. And because he's not a good finisher, but he's very composed, what I wanted to do was him to hit it first time. So rather than having to think about it, and rather he just gets that ball and hits it first time. And you've seen that there on his weaker foot, has managed to put us 1-0 up with our first shot on target. Oh no, Trent to Salah. But that's exactly what we want from Francelino. Get the ball out of your feet and get a shot in. And Jota, I mean, both teams have conceded off throw-ins. Poor defending there. I'd say both poor defending, to be honest. 1-1 as we go in at the break. A very hard goal to concede, I'd say. Greenwood's having a good game. Alvin Sanchez is apprehensive. He's not feeling up to it. Roberts and Wembanyama don't seem like they're up for it, which is a bit of an issue. So the other option is to bring Seko on and drop Roberts out. But Roberts is playing well, so we don't really want to do that. We're going to take Ekdal out and put Seko in then, because Seko has been performing well recently. Wembanyama was not having the best game. Neither is Romeo Frula. Hodser is. I think he must have got the assist for the goal. I can't take Alvin Sanchez off. That's not really fair on him, is it? Because what I could do is this. I could do that. Let's go with that. Sod it. Let's go with that. Alvin Sanchez, it was a bit of a silly thing to do. He was doing a natural winger, but he's not performing. He doesn't seem up to it. Maybe a bit of a change in a tactic would work. Eriksen slipping balls through it, make free up Mason Greenwood a little bit more. There's a bit of space on that side for Kratzig then. And Liverpool with a deep free kick, which they've played short to Robertson. Now Jota. Don't foul him. Yes, Bryce. Good defending from Wembanyama. And here goes Mason Greenwood. They're flying in with tackles, but they're not making any. Hodser, this is good football. Hodser to Greenwood. Greenwood to Kratzig. He's in acres of space. Eriksen's pulled him over. Oh, he went for goal. That is exactly what I was talking about. Eriksen sort of sat on the edge of the box and it allowed that space for Kratzig. That was nice. Wembanyama to Francelino. Here's Seko! Oh, the Japanese! Hits it straight at Alisson. If he picked a corner, that was a goal. Eriksen whips it across. Away by Todibo. Freuler doesn't win it. I think Freuler might have to come off here. Here's Seco, Roberts. Nice ball. Cozy Dewberry doesn't win his header. How many subs have we got left? Got 2 stoppages with 2 subs left. I think we're going to do, first of all, is Freuler for Bellick, and then we'll just keep an eye on the rest of the lads. We're in control. That change, that little change I made, putting Ericsson in, that's worked, you know. Bryce isn't performing. I'm going to have to put Gusto in because he's in danger of getting sent off there, Bryce. He's not performing. He's not doing all too well. No pressure on you, Malo Gusto. They've made a lot of changes, Liverpool. Ryerson, Pedro and Van der Berg coming on. Don't concede off another corner, lads. Come on. Ryerson, headed away, and again by Gusto. Here's Gakpo. Van der Berg. Robertson has gone inside to Todibo. Endo, I don't like that the highlight is stuck, you know. Robertson. Closed down. Nico to Gakpo. Back to Endo. Into Pedro. This is just lovely football. Ryerson. Ericsson's block. Ryerson again. Gets his cross in for Gakpo. It's an easy save for Tarnavano. I didn't like that highlight stuck for so long. But again, we are still in control. That little change up we made, I think it's just 3 people up. Maybe the change we do is going with like 3 attacking midfielders rather than the wingers. Maybe that's the slight tweak. So rather than like changing the whole tactic and system, slightly... Oh, they're playing off in the back now. That's nice to know. Maybe we just go with 3 midfield, 3 attacker mids, and then let the wingers go. Or maybe we go for like that Brazilian box, like that 4-2-2-2. Problem is, it would mean Cozy Dewberry drops out, but he's not really performed well. Here's Seco again with a chance! And Anibu Seco with his first goal for Bristol. What a finish! He had a chance earlier on, the exact same chance. And I said if he picked either corner, he'd score. Francelinho lays him off. Seco, left-footed, just places it past Alisson. 2-1. It's a Liverpool free kick. Looking for Ryerson, who's hit the crossbar, top of the bar, and out of play for the Bristol goal kick. Just saying about that change, Ericsson, 6.7 since coming on. Cozy Dewberry not doing too well. I genuinely think teams are like marking our wingers out of the game, and obviously there's an injury now to Di Pietri, who looks like he's going to be out for a little while, at least, if not a couple of weeks. Maybe this. I mean, look at the space Kratzig's getting. And he's got Ericsson inside of him. He's played it across for Greenwood. It's cleared away. And I don't like that the entire team have gone forward there. Gakpo's going to equalise, surely. No, Ayumi Seiko. And Cozy Dewberry spins Robertson. Looking for Greenwood. Cleared away by Todibo. Nico. Intercepted again. Hotza. Francelinho goes back to Seco. Yeah, they're marking our wingers out the game, aren't they? That's the change, I think. Hodgson with a big tackle. We need to change it from... Alisson's going forward, oh no. Is it Bournemouth? Did he score against Bournemouth last season? He scored a header, didn't he? In real life. Todibo. Seconds remaining. Hodgson intercepts. Does well. Here's Kratzig. Now Ericsson. Take your time, Christian. Finds Hotza. Cozy Dewberry. In for Greenwood. Oh, he couldn't control it. But it looks as though we have picked up a big victory, which is going to stop. I think it's 11 games since we won. Kratzig, take your time. Take all the time you need. And it's a win for Bristol Rovers. Bristol, fuck me, Matthew. I'm very sorry, it's not Bristol Rovers, it's Bristol City. Maybe I wanted to do the first save for Bristol Rovers. And then I thought, no. Maybe we do a follow-up save for Bristol Rovers, but we're saying it very quietly. So a big victory then, which does keep us in 12th, but I did say in the previous video that I think anything above 30 points keeps you out of this bottom quartet. Brentford are doing awfully. But, 38 points now. We're still in and about there with that victory. We've got a couple of very hard games coming up. One being against Chelsea. Di Pietri is out for 4 to 6 weeks. So I think we do exactly that. I think that just worked really well. I think it worked really well. Ericsson will come in then. Cozy Dewberry. Oh, Ericsson. Why can't Ericsson play? That was strange. Cozy Dewberry, obviously, he can play. Oh, the wheels are turning, And that would allow both fullbacks to get forward a lot more. We'll probably just have to turn this DM into like a ball winner on defend or a DM on defend rather than a support. Are we going to trial it? I think we trial it. Let's do him as a support and attacking midfielder. And then he can just go to an advanced forward rather than a complete forward. Because you've got 3 really creative players pack in the middle. You've got these 2 running forward and obviously your 2 holding midfielders. We have got a cup game against Luton, which I wasn't planning on doing. Seko, fantastic. Come here, lad. So I think... Oh, God, work phone again. I think... if I'm being completely honest, I think I've proven it a few times now that looking at the average rating, oh my goodness, looking at the average rating, 8 matches in a row without winning before that. Yeah, looking at the average rating seems to be the way forward, doesn't it? He looks good. Oh my God. I'm a wanted man at 3 minutes past 5 after my shift. So I think then what I need to do is I'm going to go away. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to see how that works. And then we're going to start coming back. We've got a couple of big games, as I said. We've got Chelsea, West Ham, Everton. I think purely because they're down there, we come back for Brentford, Southampton and Leeds. Leeds are close to us, so that'll give us a good indication of where we are at that late stage of the season. I think if we can pick up victories against Brentford and Southampton, we are completely safe. Brentford have now changed their manager to Dejan Stankovic. And have changed up formation. They're not doing well at all. Ivan Toney's still got 11 league goals this season. Goodness gracious me. What has happened to Brentford? They've not sold their players, have they? This is the thing. Obviously, I talked about sort of how I want to do it and how they're doing it. If you look at Brentford here, all their players are like in their prime, but they've not sold any of the older heads on. And they've brought in like not very good players, to be fair. Look at their transfer history. They've lost a lot. Elmas, Kevin Edwards, who was a regen. He looks very good. Jesus. The Mima, who we were after at one point, he's obviously not doing well. They've brought in like really naff players and not sold like the players in their prime like they would normally do. So that's what we want to avoid, and that's why we're looking at getting rid of some players and obviously players that aren't really performing. But yeah, I think we may have stumbled on something again. That's what I quite like. We're playing a bit higher. Looks like we're going to go with the 3 attacker mids rather than the wingers and see if that change pays dividends. But I am going to leave that there. As I say, I don't want to sort of influx everyone with that. Just the quick things to look out for. If we look at the shortlist, I've been looking at players who are out of contract in this scouting assignment, and one that keeps popping up is Garang Kuol, who is out of contract in the summer. His value's dropping. He won't sign a new contract with them. He's fully scouted. He did very well at Volendam and has played 4 matches last season for Newcastle, played 1 game this season for them and done quite well. I really like him. I really want him. I think He's only 21. Attacking midfielder, left winger, right winger, striker. I think he would do well. And because he's been at Newcastle so long now, I think he classes as homegrown. Can I have a look at his eligibility? Why can't I look at his eligibility? Scout report? No. No, hello? Can't look at his eligibility for some reason. But I think he needs to come in. I think he's definitely one we need to look at. And then you're looking at like players that we've got knocking around, players out on loan. Again, if we go by average ratings, this would ignore Conway because he's not playing much. Arthur Okonkwo getting a 7.10 in League One would suggest he's got something about him. Obviously, I did mention our main boy Trev has not done very well down at Cambridge, but a development loan nonetheless. He is only 17, so we can bring him back into the fold and maybe loan him out again. But I'm waffling, so I am going to leave that there. A very short episode today in comparison to other episodes. But thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you for episode 24 of the Ashton Gate 8, where we're in that sort of crunch time end of season, where we could confirm safety. We could end up getting dragged into a relegation battle. So fingers crossed we don't. Thank you very much. I'll see you all next time for episode 24 of the Ashton Gate 8.